Synesthesia, a rare condition in which there is a mixing of the senses. This phenomenon only occurs in 1 in every 2,000 people in the world. With this condition, people can see letters as color, taste words, smell sounds, or even see music. Famous synesthetes include Stevie Wonder, John Mayer, Franz Liszt, Billy Joel, and Pharrell Williams from Nerd. So how's this rare condition inherited? To find out, I asked Davidson psychology professor Dr. Munger, who specializes in sensation and perception.
In terms of the neurology, one of the things that happens with newborn infants is they've got the neurons spread sort of generously throughout the brain, and what happens over the course of development in the first year or so is pruning out of certain connections. And so there's a sense in which infants come and everything's all connected, and over time they actually lose connections between the senses, and that pruning then leads to separate senses for most of us, and then for synesthetes that pruning failed for some reason. So that's the most common explanation I've heard from the neurological end of it.
So this is the first theory, that we all had synesthesia when we were babies, but we lost a sort of synesthetic capacity as we approached the world through logic rather than through senses. The second theory is that we all have it, but it only reaches conscious awareness in a few of us. The third theory is that synesthetes just have this extra communication in the brain. So for example, their sight and their sound might be communicating. This might only happen in 1 every 2,000 people in the world. So I wanted to find out what these experiences might be like. So I found a retired physics professor in Davidson, North Carolina, who could actually see letters in color.
I remember saying to my teacher one day, this letter is the wrong color. And it happened to be an E. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, it's not red. And she looked at me, oh? And at that point, I think I did not pass the 2nd grade. No, she was.
That's good.
She was just curious about the fact that little Bobby could not see that this E right in front of him was black, like all the other letters and all the other numbers. But to me, it had to be red.
So there are 2 types of synesthesia. Synesthesia where 2 senses are combined, and synesthesia where 3 senses are combined. Let's ask someone who can see music.
Miles Davis sounds blue. Mars Volta is green. John Coltrane is red. Most orchestral music is a very thick, heavy blue. Except for Rhapsody in Blue, it doesn't really look blue. I'd say more black, white, and green. Progressive rock has a multitude of colors, including yellow, green, blue, and red.
Now let's see someone who has 3 senses combined.
When I was 16, I was out with a friend of mine, and it started to rain. And then I heard a G, and at the same time I saw that the G was blue. And then I went through all the scale, and I saw that each note has his own specific color. And this was the first time when I was conscious of the colors.
So there you have it. Different perspectives, different experiences, different reality. Debilitating disease or extraordinary gift, synesthesia remains one of the most enigmatic psychological conditions of the human mind.
I knew my teacher was wrong, and she still was. I know that E's and 3's are red, and she didn't.
You know that E's and 3's are red.
Yeah.
Is that reality for you?
Yeah, in my head they are.
It's a reality.
Yeah.
So it's facts.
Fact. Here we go. I'm a physicist.
Not a philosopher.
What counts as a fact? Anything in your head counts as a fact? Well, God, no. Fact for me. That's as much as I can give it.
It's how you experience reality.
Sure.
Okay.
That's very good.
this is the first. So this is the first theory. So this is the first. Let's ask someone who can, I don't know, hear music? Not hear music. See music? Now let's see someone who can not only see sounds, but, well, what is it? Now let's have someone who can not only see a sound, or no, hear